Good morning, everyone. Let me talk to you real for a moment. In a world where oversharing is a trend, where your breakfast, your breakup, your blessings all get posted before the day ends, let me remind you, in today's digital world, where sharing has become second nature and every moment feels like it needs to be posted, the line between privacy and secrecy has been blurred, but there's a quiet strength in choosing what to keep for yourself. Privacy is not about hiding. It's about holding space for your own growth, healing, and peace. When you keep something private, you're not being secretive or deceptive. You're being intentional. You're choosing what parts of your life deserve protection, not public consumption. There's a misconception that if you're not telling everyone everything, you must have something to hide. But the truth is, not everything is meant for everyone. Some chapters of your story are still being written, and they deserve the space to develop without interruption or judgment. When you share too soon or too much, you open the door for opinions, doubts, and energy that can derail your focus. Privacy allows you to move at your own pace, without pressure or outside noise. Think about how a flower grows. Before it blossoms, it's buried in darkness, taking root in the quiet, hidden from view. That time underground is vital. It's where the strength is built. In the same way, our goals, our personal growth, and our healing often thrive better when nurtured in silence. Not because they're shameful or unworthy, but because they need protection, space to evolve without interference. Being private also means you're in control of your narrative. You choose what to share, when to share it, and with whom. That control is powerful. It keeps your peace intact. It helps you stay grounded. And more importantly, it prevents people from shaping your story before you've even had a chance to live it. Once something is out in the open, it's open to interpretation, criticism, and influence. Privacy shields you from all of that. It's not about cutting people off or building walls. It's about building filters. It's about knowing who's earned access to your inner world and who hasn't. Not everyone deserves to know your plans, your struggles, or your joys. That's not selfish, it's wise. When you protect your space, you protect your energy, and that energy is what fuels your purpose. Choosing privacy is an act of self-respect. It says, I value myself enough to guard what matters most. It says you don't need validation from the world to feel whole. You trust your journey, you honor your timing, and you understand that some of the most beautiful transformations happen behind closed doors. So no, privacy isn't secrecy. It's strength, it's clarity, it's control, and in a world constantly demanding your attention and your details, choosing to keep certain things sacred is a radical form of peace. You're not hiding, you're protecting, and that makes all the difference. In a world driven by likes, shares, and instant updates, the pressure to share everything can feel overwhelming. Social media encourages constant visibility. What you're doing, where you are, who you're with, how you're feeling. It's easy to fall into the mindset that if it's not posted, it didn't happen. But the truth is, not everything needs to be shared. In fact, some of the most meaningful moments, the deepest lessons, and the most personal victories are better left unspoken, held close, and treasured quietly. There's something sacred about keeping parts of your life just for you. Whether it's a relationship, a new goal, or an idea that hasn't fully taken form, choosing not to share doesn't mean it's not real or important. It often means it's even more valuable. When you keep something private, you're giving it time to breathe, to grow, and to become strong before exposing it to the opinions and energy of the outside world. Sharing too soon can invite criticism, comparison, and unnecessary pressure. Sometimes we overshare out of habit or because we're looking for validation. We want someone to approve, to celebrate with us, or to make us feel seen. But when we constantly rely on external validation, we lose touch with our own inner voice. We start to shape our lives around how things will be perceived rather than how they truly feel. Keeping some things to yourself allows you to stay grounded in your own truth. It reminds you that your life is not a performance, it's your personal journey. Not everything is meant for public consumption. Some stories are still unfolding, some wounds are still healing, some dreams are still being built in silence. Sharing them too soon can expose them to judgment or even sabotage. People don't always see things from your perspective, and their feedback, while sometimes well-intentioned, can discourage you or make you second guess your path. When you keep things private, you protect the sacredness of your process. There is also freedom in privacy. When you're not constantly updating the world, you get to experience life more fully, you get to be present, you get to feel things deeply without worrying about how they'll be received or interpreted. You're not curating your life for an audience. You're living it authentically for yourself. It's okay to share the parts of your life that bring you joy or help others feel connected. But it's also okay to have moments that are just yours. You don't have to explain, announce, or justify every decision. Your life doesn't need a caption. Some memories are better off undocumented. Some feelings are more powerful when held in your own heart. Choosing what not to share is a quiet act of self-awareness and self-protection. It's a reminder that you are in control of your narrative, and in a time where everyone's talking, those who know when to stay silent often carry the deepest peace. Peace is one of the most valuable things you can have in life, and yet it's often the most overlooked. In a world full of noise, distractions, opinions, and demands, finding inner peace is like finding stillness in the middle of a storm. And once you have it, you realize just how priceless it truly is. It doesn't come from money, status, or attention. It comes from within, from alignment, balance, and protecting your energy. But the truth is, peace is fragile. It can be easily disturbed if you're not intentional about guarding it. People often chase things they think will bring them happiness, success, relationships, recognition, but without peace, none of it feels fulfilling. You can have everything and still feel empty if your mind and heart are in constant chaos. That's why peace is so precious. It's the foundation for clarity, joy, and purpose. It allows you to show up fully in your life, not reacting to every situation or absorbing every emotion around you, but responding with calm and understanding. But peace doesn't maintain itself. It requires boundaries. It requires you to say no without guilt, to walk away from drama, and to choose solitude over noise when needed. Not everyone respects your peace, and not everyone should have access to it. Some people thrive on conflict, chaos, or control. Being around that kind of energy consistently will drain you before you even realize it. That's why protecting your peace isn't selfish, it's necessary. It's also important to understand what robs you of peace. Sometimes it's people, but other times it's your own habit. So overthinking people, pleasing, reliving the past, or worrying about the future. Your mind can become a battlefield if you're not careful. Cultivating peace means doing the work to quiet that noise. It might mean journaling, meditating, setting clear limits, or simply unplugging from the outside world for a while. Whatever helps you return to yourself, do more of that. Peace shows up in small moments, a quiet morning, deep breaths, a decision made with confidence, a conversation that ends with grace instead of argument. And yet, we often sacrifice it for temporary satisfaction, for being right, being liked, or being seen. But once you've experienced real peace, you'll start choosing it over those things every time. It becomes your standard. You'll begin to notice when something disrupts it, and instead of tolerating it, you'll remove yourself. Quickly, quietly, and without apology. Peace is the space between reaction and response. It's the deep breath before you speak. It's the choice to let go rather than hold on, and once you understand its value, you'll realize that nothing, no opinion, no argument, no outside noise, is worth trading it for. So guard it, nurture it, protect it fiercely, because peace isn't just the absence of problems, it's the presence of power. There's a quiet kind of strength in moving in silence. In a world that constantly encourages you to announce every step, every idea, every intention, there's something powerful about choosing to keep your journey to yourself. You don't need to broadcast your plans for them to be real. You don't have to seek applause before you've even taken the first step. True confidence doesn't beg for attention. It works, grows, and evolves behind the scenes, and when the time is right, it shows up not with noise, but with undeniable results. Let your success speak for itself. There's a reason why some of the most powerful moves are made in silence. When you move quietly, you eliminate distractions. You're not performing for anyone. You're not seeking approval or worrying about who's watching. You're focused, you're building something solid, you're allowing your dreams to take root before exposing them to the world, because not everyone will understand your vision, and some may even hope to see you fail. Protecting your goals in their early stages is one of the smartest things you can do. When you move in silence, you also conserve energy. Constantly talking about what you're going to do uses energy that could be spent actually doing it. Words are powerful, but action is louder. There's a different kind of impact when someone sees the finished product without ever knowing what you were up to. It surprises them, inspires them, and most importantly, it proves that you were serious. Real ones don't talk about it, they be about it. There's also peace in silence. When you're not seeking external validation, you become more in tune with your own instincts. You make decisions based on what feels right for you, not based on likes, opinions, or expectations. You become more resilient, more grounded, and more free. You learn to trust your process, even if no one else sees it yet. And when things go wrong, which they sometimes will, you're able to correct without the pressure of an audience. That doesn't mean you have to isolate yourself completely. You can still have a circle, a support system, a few trusted people you share your journey with, but the key is to know the difference between sharing for connection and oversharing for validation. Everyone doesn't need to know everything. Let them wonder, let them watch, let them find out when it's already done, and when success finally arrives, when the work you've been doing in the dark starts to shine, let that be your voice. Let your results speak. Let your growth be your reply to the doubt, the silence your answer to the noise, because there's nothing more powerful than doing exactly what you said you would, without ever having to say a word. Moving in silence doesn't mean hiding, it means focusing, it means elevating, it means trusting yourself enough to let the work show the world who you are. Not everyone in your life deserves full access to you, your thoughts, your emotions, your time, or your energy. Learning to discern who gets to be close to you is not about arrogance or selfishness. It's about self-respect and emotional safety. The people you allow into your inner world influence your mindset, your decisions, and even your peace. That's why it's so important to be intentional about who you give access to, because access is power, and not everyone uses that power with care. Often, we give people too much of ourselves too quickly. We open up our hearts, our plans, and our vulnerabilities without truly knowing who's in front of us. Some people show up with good intentions, while others carry quiet envy, judgment, or negativity. And when you give the wrong people access, you risk being drained, discouraged, or even betrayed. It's not about being paranoid, it's about being wise. You have every right to protect your space and choose who earns a seat at your table. Discernment means watching how people move, not just listening to what they say. Do they uplift you or undermine you? Do they respect your boundaries or constantly cross them? Do they genuinely celebrate your growth, or do they seem uncomfortable when you shine? Pay attention. Patterns reveal more than promises ever will. Trust is not something you give away freely. It should be built through consistency, honesty, and mutual respect. Sometimes the ones closest to us are the ones doing the most damage. That's a hard truth, but an important one. Just because someone has a history with you doesn't mean they have a future with you. Loyalty is not owed, it's earned, and it's okay to outgrow people who no longer align with your values or your peace. Letting go doesn't mean you hate them. It means you're choosing yourself. It means you're recognizing that access to your life is a privilege, not a right. Setting boundaries is a key part of this process. Boundaries are not about building walls. They're about defining your worth. They teach others how to treat you and teach you how to protect your energy. The right people will honor them. The wrong people will be offended by them. And that's how you'll know who really respects you. Your space mentally, emotionally, physically is sacred. Fill it with people who bring light, not shade. People who root for you in rooms you're not even in. People who correct you with love, not criticism. People who inspire growth, not gossip. Because the energy around you becomes the energy within you, and that shapes everything. Choosing who gets access to you is one of the most powerful acts of self-care. Don't apologize for being selective. Don't feel guilty for protecting your peace. Your time and presence are valuable. Treat them that way. The right people won't mind earning their place. The wrong ones will reveal themselves when denied it. Either way, you win.